Welcome, and thank you so much for tuning in today for our chair practice. Today, we're going to explore holding space or making something happen. So think about that for a second. Just, what's the difference between holding space and trying to make something happen? So maybe you've had a situation recently where you thought something should or would happen a particular way, and you get so caught up in making it the way that you think it should happen, right? It could be anything. It could be a project, a dinner, a little party. It could even be a particular yoga pose. And then looking back, you realize that in trying to make something happen, that you got so caught up in it that you weren't even present during the process. And it probably resulted in maybe even an undesirable outcome. So when we try to make something happen or force the situation, rush the process, we fail to be present and miss what's actually happening around us, as well as in our bodies, in our environments, in our mind. And how do we prevent that from happening? We do that through presence. It's all about presence, slowing down our way of being so that there is space to recognize what is happening in our environment, in our bodies, in our minds, even in our breath. It's about cultivating this state of mindfulness in our thoughts, in our actions, in our interactions, slowing down in yoga and in life. Is also about recognizing and then releasing our attachment to outcomes and expectations. And how does that show up in our thoughts? It shows up in our thoughts as a should. Right? You might be exploring a situation that's going to be happening and you hear that should word or that should comment. We all have these voices in our head, right? So watch out for the shoulds in our practice today. We might be doing a pose that you are familiar with and you love, right? So you maybe have an idea of how it's supposed to come out in the end. Or maybe it's something that we do that's new to you. But please try to stay present and stay tuned into the journey as we move through our practice today. Holding space rather than trying to make something happen, right? All of that perhaps might inspire an intention for you today. So let's sit up tall. Rest your hands on your thighs or in your lap. And adjust your feet so that your heels are underneath your knees. Shoulders stacked over your hips. And if it's comfortable for you, allow your eyes to soften and close. Closing the eyes is a great way to bring about presence. When we close the eyes, immediately our mind works to orient ourselves. So you might immediately notice sounds. Maybe you notice physical sensation or breath. Maybe you notice what you're feeling or what you're thinking. All of these things help create presence, holding space, being open to the experience rather than following an expected outcome or path. Now, no judgment of anything you discover as you close the eyes. We're just orienting, just finding our starting point. Now, continuing to sit tall, excuse me, take an inhale through both nostrils. And as you exhale, sigh it out like you're fogging up a mirror or glass. Good. In through the nose. And exhale, sigh it out. Again, in through the nose. This time, close the lips and see if you can still sigh it out. So we're feeling that constriction in the throat. And continue that way, in through the nose and out through the nose, but feel as though you're drawing the breath through the throat. This is Ujjayi breath, or victorious breath. This is a really great breath for grounding, for bringing about presence, calming the nervous system, calming the mind. And as well, it's heating and warming for the body. Because we have to take a little more energy to draw that breath through the throat. Let's take about 5 more Ujjayi breaths here. And as you continue to breathe, pay attention to all of the different parts physically in your body that are associated with breathing. Maybe you notice the expansion and contraction of the belly, the movement of the chest, sensation of the breath of the nostrils, the ribs expanding. 2 more breaths here, just noticing how the breath is moving in the body. And then release the Ujjayi breathing, return to normal breathing. And if you wish, set an intention for the remainder of your practice. And today I offer the intention of presence. And of course, if something else suits your mood, then choose that. But throughout our practice, especially when things get challenging, call upon your intention, call upon that word, or call upon the breath, noticing how the breath is moving in the body or what sensations are in the body to keep you present. So we stay in that holding space rather than making something happen and checking out. Let your eyes blink open here, and then slide your hands out to the kneecaps. And we'll just start warming up the body a bit before we move more. On an inhalation, draw the heel of the hands back and lift the chest, maybe feeling a bit of an arch in the spine. You could even turn your gaze to look up. And then as you exhale, tuck the tailbone and round. Chin can drop to the chest, looking down. Good inhale, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, round. Let's take 3 more of these. Seated cat and cow. Make sure this movement is coming from the spine rather than just from the head. Big spinal movements. Good. Inhale up nice and tall once more. So this would be seated mountain pose. Now, mountain pose is a very strong, stable, grounded pose. So we need to do more than just sit. Press your feet down. Have some presence with your feet, pressing them down. As you press the feet down, you'll feel the legs activate a little bit. And then you might even feel, as you additionally press your seat down, how the abdominals draw back. Navel is drawing back to the spine, up to the ribs, almost effortlessly. It's like an immediate reaction from pressing down. Right? So we use that to help support the spine as we take other movements. Now just pause here, pressing down, still pressing down through the feet, pressing down through the seat. Lift and lengthen the spine, and be fully present and aware. And now even come back to that Ujjayi breath, now or anytime throughout the practice. But stay this grounded, this active through the legs. Take your arms, release them down by your sides. And then on inhale, turn your palms away from you. Reach through the fingertips and reach all the way up. And then on exhale, turn the palms away and lower down. Good, inhale, arms sweep out and up, reach. Exhale, lower. Good, 3 more, just like that. As the arms go up, the spine goes up. Feet and seat press even a little bit more. And then keep that length in the spine as you lower the arms. So the arms are really active, present, aware. And lower. Last one here, please. Inhale up. So let's take a lateral bend this time. Right hand will come down to the seat of the chair for support, and then up and over. Maybe even turning to look up. Of course, it's always comforting as well if you like to look down to your right. Breathing into this left side body. So breathe in, make more space in those ribs in the left lung. Let's inhale, come all the way back up, and then we'll go the other direction. Left arm will come down to the seat of the chair, and then up and over. But still pressing into the feet. So you might notice as you're taking a lateral bend to your left, that most of your weight shifts to the left seat. Can you still have presence through the left side, press down, or the right side, press down through the right foot, the right hip? Good, inhale, bring yourself all the way up. And then we'll take a twist to your right. So now twisting around to your right. Remember, we've been talking about this. When we twist, keep your chin in line with your heart, with your breastbone, and turn from the heart center, from your core. Once you've gone around about as far as that goes, then if you like, follow with the head. You will get a deeper, more complete twist if you turn from the heart first rather than from the head. Now, if you like a nice stretch for the neck, is actually to turn to look over your left shoulder here. Let's inhale. We'll untwist, come back around to the center, wriggle that out a little bit. Then let's go the other way. So remember, as you turn, chin stays in line with the breastbone as you twist. Shoulders stay down away from your ears. And then feel free to continue turning the head around. Still very present and aware. Feet are grounded, sit bones are grounded. Find the length of the spine. And then on inhale, on twist, come back to center. We'll do a few rounds of a seated Surya Namaskara or sun salutation. A little more warm up before we stand up. All right, planting the feet. So we start in mountain pose, press down, lengthen the spine, inhale, sweep the arms out and up. As you exhale, cactus arms and tilt forward, just about halfway. So the spine stays long, we're working the back muscles. So imagine or squeeze shoulder blades together on the back so the chest stays really open. Good, stay for one more inhale here. And then as you exhale, come down to a forward bend. Hands can support on the thighs, and then walking all the way down to the floor if that's available for you. Allow the head weight to drop down. Good, inhale, half lift. So hands on the shins, or they can stay on the floor, but look forward, look up. And then exhale, fold back down. Next inhalation brings you all the way up. Look forward, press down through the feet and the seat, arms stretch up high, and then lower the arms down. We'll do that again, a little more rapidly. We'll move a little more closely to in and out with the breath. All right, arms reach down, active arms. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, cactus arms tilt forward. Stay for the inhale. And then exhale, fold all the way down, forward bend. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold back down. The next inhale brings you all the way up. Look first, root down through the feet. So explore the roots in your posture, the foundation, and then all the way up, and hands come back down. Good, once more, just like that. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, cactus arms halfway forward. Stay for the inhale. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, half lift. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold bend, fold down. This time we're gonna come all the way up again. Inhale up, stretch, reach, and hands to heart center. But pause for a moment, tune back into your breath. So as we've started a little bit of movement, the breath might be moving a little differently, right? Maybe the breath rate has picked up. Maybe the breath is a little deeper, a little faster. If you can consciously slow it down. Great time to come back to that Ujjayi breath and to remind yourself of your intention. And let your eyes open, and let's bring your right knee in towards your chest. So we're gonna sit up tall, stay really grounded through this left side. So left foot's pushing down, sit bones are pushing down. We're lengthening the spine. And as you're holding the back of the right leg, let's just warm up those little muscles. Make sure when you take your circles with the ankle, go both directions a few times. And then let's point and flex. Then you can include the toes here too. So scrunch the toes, open the toes, scrunch, open, scrunch, open. So good for the feet. Those little toes, we probably don't pay too much attention to them during the day, right? Yeah, let's hold the foot in a flexed position and stretch the foot out in front of you, placing the heel down on the ground. And I'm going to turn off to the side just a little bit. Right? So heel is down, foot stays flexed, and we support the hands on the opposite knee. But lengthen the spine, and as you exhale, hinge forward. So we're looking to stretch and activate the back of your right leg. Keep this right leg pretty active. So the foot is flexed and you're pushing the heel down into the ground. That will help activate the leg and protect the knee. Now you can keep reaching and tilting forward. Maybe some of you might even bring hands down to the floor, depending on your flexibility and mobility. It's not necessary to come to the floor, but explore that if it's available to you. Let's take 2 breaths more. You inhale, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, release into the fold deeper. Once more, inhale and exhale. Now the next inhale is going to bring us all the way up. Look forward first from wherever you are and use the arms to help bring you all the way up. Good. Now pick up that right leg and cross right ankle over the left knee. A seated pigeon, keeping the foot flexed. So this will help to activate a little more clearly the outer right hip. Lengthen the spine and tilt forward to any degree. Staying aware of the rest of the body. So even though a lot of our attention is on what's stretching, where the sensation is, continue to come back to what sensations you feel in the rest of the body. So stay grounded through the left foot. The left foot, you can even imagine as though we have roots extending from the bottom of the foot through the floor and into the earth. And then also explore that extension of the spine. From the roots, we get grounding, allowing us to lengthen and expand, find more freedom of expression. Let's inhale, bring yourself all the way upright. One more stretch for this leg, and then we'll switch over to the other side. So turn all the way in your chair to your left and let your right toes curl under. So I'm holding on to the back of the chair for some support here. Just wanting to find some stretch across the front of your right hip. So the right sit bone is hanging off your chair, knee is dangling, not dangling, knee is kind of reaching down toward the floor. Now, find your foundation. So press down through the left foot, the left sit bone, the right toes, even reaching the right knee to the earth is part of our foundation. Navel draws back to the spine, up to the ribs. And let's add a little side bend here if you like. Take your right arm, extend it up to the sky, get more length. And as you exhale, lateral bend over to the left. Beautiful. Inhale, bring yourself all the way up. lower the arm, and turn yourself back around to the front. Maybe even tuning in a little bit to how the legs feel a little bit differently. And let's take that short series on side 2. So sitting up tall, pick up your left foot, hands behind the knee. Find your foundation. So settle in, right foot pushes down, sit bones push down, spine is elongated and support with the core. And then roll those ankles. Make sure you go both ways. And point and flex. Avoid the tendency here to tune out. How about the toes? Scrunch and open. So when we tune out, that's kind of an example of us being attached to an expectation or an outcome, right? Because we already know what's going to happen, so why do we have to think about it, right? We can just tune out and be somewhere else. Well, that's like the exact opposite of presence. That's not what we're trying to cultivate today. So stay tuned in. Right now, keep the foot in a flexed position, and we'll take the left leg and extend it out, and we'll do that stretch for the back of the leg here. So the foot stays flexed, toes towards you, pressing the heel down. Keeping that leg active, hands to the opposite thigh for support. Lengthen the spine, and on exhale, hinge forward to any degree. Either stay here supported, or as you're ready, if you're ready, hands can come to the floor. Inhale, look forward, use the arms, the hands for support, bring yourself all the way up. As you come upright, left ankle over the right knee. Up tall, again, keep the foot flexed so we keep all of that attention on the outer hip. And to whatever degree is available to you, tilt forward. The closer your chest and the thighs are to one another, the deeper the sensation of the stretch in that hip. On an inhale, bring yourself all the way up. And now we're going to turn all the way in the chair to the right so that the left toes are curled under. The left toes curl under, left knee pressing down, staying grounded and present through the right side. So the foot pushes down, the sit bone presses down, the spine elongates. You can add that lateral bend. Left arm reaches up overhead. Take that lateral bend to your right, intensifying the stretch. On inhalation, everything comes up tall, and then lower the arm and turn yourself back around to the front. Good. I think it's about time we stand up. So let's come on up to stand, please. And as we come up to stand, I will use the chair for a little bit of support, and you may like to do the same thing. So you can either come standing next to the chair or even behind the chair if that's your preference. Just for lack of space here in my area, I'm going to stand next to the chair. So the chair is there for you to use it for as much support as you require. You can keep one hand, both hands on the chair the whole time. So we did Tadasana or mountain pose seated. Let's find Tadasana standing. So heels are going to be underneath your sit bones. Feet are hips distance, like right apart. Feet are parallel. And Tadasana, just like seated, in the standing variation is more than just standing here. We need to be really active. So press the feet down, firm the feet down into the ground. As you do, you'll feel the muscles of the legs start to engage, right? Now let's activate that a little bit more by lifting all 10 toes up. So keep the rest of the foot down, just lift the toes. As you lift the toes, spread them out wide, and you can usually really easily find that big toe mound. Then can you find the little toe mound and the center of the heel? That's our little tripod. Very grounding and stable, right? So we really get that connection, that expansion into the earth with our roots. But you can also feel the energy more clearly come up the front of the legs. You might notice the kneecaps lifting. You might notice the fronts of the thighs engaging more. Keep drawing that energy up into the low belly. See if you can maintain all of that great energy in the front of the legs, but then place the toes down. But we'll stay here for 2 more breaths. And I invite you again, come back to the Ujjayi breathing, in and out through the nose, but that gentle constriction of the throat. Let's release the posture, shake the legs out just a little bit. We'll take tree pose next, right? So I like to walk the feet a little bit closer to start for my tree pose, Vrikshasana. And then return to mountain, right? Press down through the feet, firm the legs, engage the abdominals, lengthen the spine. And we'll start on the right side first. So bend your left knee and then open the left hip out to the side. So this might be your tree pose today with both feet on the floor. So I've got left toes down, left heel is pressing into the right ankle, and they're pressing together. That gives you more stability, more grounding. If available, you may choose to lift up the foot and place it to the inside of the calf. It's not necessary. For today, I'm going to leave my foot down on the floor. And as we're here in Vrikshasana, tree pose, some things to explore. Explore your extension, first of all, your foundation. Pressing the foot down. You can even imagine, again, roots growing out of the bottom of your foot, reaching down into the earth, really grounding you. And then from that grounding, explore extension. As you press down, it's almost as if the earth gives back and allows you more freedom to expand the rest of the body. And of course, perhaps your tree grows branches. Extend and lower down. Return to Tadasana, so both feet down. And as you plant both feet down, take a moment and just tune in to the different sensations in the bottom of your feet. Left foot versus right foot. One likely feels a little more grounded and energized than the other. So let's balance that out. So Tadasana first, both feet pressing down, activate the legs, stay in mountain pose now on the left side as you bend the right knee and open the hip to the side. If the heel is resting on the ankle, they're pressing together. If you choose to lift up the foot, they're pressing together. That will help you with the extension. Stay here and breathe. Fingertips can stay on the chair or maybe one or both arms. Float up, growing branches for your tree. Stay tuned in, stay all here, truly present and aware. So you might remind yourself of your intention here, or just simply stay tuned into the breath and sensation. And you know, when you feel those little wobbles in your tree pose, instead of wishing it were different, just chill out and kind of go with the flow there. Be okay with the shifting and the steadiness that you're creating in your posture. Now let's lower the arms down. Return to Tadasana, mountain pose. Ground down through the feet. We'll take 5 breaths here. So even though we're not doing a lot with the legs, they should be starting to fatigue if we're really pressing down, right? We're pressing down, activating the legs. Navel is drawing back, creating more extension in the spine. You may even wish to close your eyes here for this round of Tadasana. With one more breath. And now on inhale, Urdhva Tadasana. Gonna take the arms and reach and extend them up overhead. Arms go up, spine goes up. Can you root down and ground down even more through the legs and extend even more through the fingertips? Perhaps even choosing to turn your gaze to look up. Exploring your roots as well as your extension. Exhale and release the arms all the way down. And we'll replay tree pose. All right, we'll start on the right foot. Right leg stays grounded in mountain as you bend the left knee and open the hip. Again, stay here, firmly rooted, 2 feet on the floor, or pick it up, yogi's choice. Stay for 5 more breaths. Change sides. So find your mountain pose to reset on the left side. Right knee and hip open out. Keep that left hip, right? So we have a tendency once we're here to kind of sink into it. Keep that hip drawing in and up. That's the extension. And we'll stay here in total 10 breaths. Five breaths more. Let's come back onto our chairs. Back to taking a seat. And as we come down, we'll do a little series of standing postures, but we're going to start with them seated. Know that you always have the option to bring yourself up off of the chair. And we'll take Warrior 2, side angle, and we'll do a couple of different variations. Let's see what comes out here. Let's turn in your chair to your right. So turning to your right leg, right hip is going to stay on the chair. Extend the left leg. So earlier when we were here, we curled under and have the knee pointing down. This time, extend the leg all the way back behind you and then plant the sole of the foot down. And so as much as possible, your legs look about like this. So there is a tendency once we're here, and you can even see it in my body as I sit this way, my hips kind of go off kilter. So I've got the right one way low and the left one high. So I'm going to do my best to balance that out so the hips are a little more neutral. Now the leg that's extended back behind you, keep it grounded and firm. This is part of our foundation, part of our roots. Right? So the leg is firm down, kind of energizing, lifting the energy up the front of the thigh. And even on the right side, we're pressing the right foot down, the right sit bone. So even if you don't lift yourself up off of the chair, my legs are really energized right here. All right, we'll take Warrior 2 first. So take the palms and turn them up and then extend the arms out so they're about shoulder height. Now, keeping this much extension in the shoulders, turn your palms down without rotating the whole arm. So we keep the shoulders really open. And then your gaze will turn to look down past right fingertips. Shoulders stay down. They sometimes want to sneak up. Those shoulders rooting down. So I love Warrior Two as a great expression of presence. So here, your left arm is reaching back behind you into the past. Your right arm, your gaze is going out into the future, into possibility, and your heart is right in the center, in the presence. Beautiful. Let's take side angle now. So bend right elbow, right forearm comes down just above the knee. And as the forearm comes down, we're going to push the forearm down so we get extension and openness through the right side. Keep the palm open to the ceiling, right? And options for left arm. You could keep the left arm alongside the body. Maybe take the hand behind the low back for a variation of a half bind. That's really lovely to open the shoulder. Or do other options. Maybe take the arm straight up overhead or alongside the ear. Find the variation that works for your body today. And then once you arrive, tune back in, right? Maybe we spent so much time thinking about the arms, we forgot about the legs. So root down through the feet, through the legs, stay active, stay present and aware, holding space instead of making something happen. Let go of expectation and just be. One more breath. Inhale. Bring yourself all the way back up, and we'll go back to Warrior Two. Now, we've already been here, so we know what the experience is, but can you let go of that expectation and just be? Enjoy this experience right now. Shoulders are down, spine is elongating. Lower the arms all the way down. Bring your legs back to center. Sometimes a little wiggle and a shake is nice on those legs. We'll do that on side two. So turn around in your chair so you're facing to your left. Okay, so left thigh, left sit bone, stay on the chair, and then find extension in the right leg. So finding a position where you can plant the foot down. Leg is active, and then check out your hips. There will be a tendency for that left hip now to drop down and the right one to lift. See if you can find more neutral positioning of the hips. Root down through left foot, left thigh, right leg, sit bones. If you're standing, more through just the legs, right? Spine is long, right? So we'll take the arms out, just like we did first time before, with the palms face up. That invites more opening through the chest. Right now, keeping the shoulders this open, just turn the palms down. And we'll stay here 5 breaths for this round. Two more breaths. And now side angle pose, Parsvakonasana. Bend the left elbow or forearm comes down on top of the thigh, and we're pressing into the thigh rather than just kind of hanging out, right? Pressing down, lengthen the side waist, activate the legs, and decide what you want to do with your right arm. Keep it down, take the half bind, take it up, or take it over. 2 more breaths, please. Inhale back up, warrior 2. We can move right back into it with full awareness. And then go back through the body and check things out. Make sure we're still grounding down through the feet, through the legs, exploring roots as well as extension. Two more breaths. Bring the arms all the way down. And bring yourself back around to face forward. All right, one more fun little posture. We'll take Garudasana or eagle pose. All right. So for eagle pose, we sit forward on the chair and let's cross your right leg over your left. Right. So the thighs are crossed. Now, as the thighs cross, we'll squeeze the legs together. So rather than just crossing the legs and hanging, we're going to squeeze the legs together to activate the legs. Your left foot, you could imagine your left foot is still like in mountain pose. You're pushing down, getting really grounded here through the seat. Now, some of you might even take the toes and hook them around. Not necessary. Just make sure we're squeezing the legs together. All right. So really, really active legs. Now we have the right thigh on top, so we'll cross the right arm under. So arms out wide like a T, and then right arm under the left. You decide. You can take hands just to shoulders, backs of hands, or palms together. Now, squeezing the legs, squeeze the elbows together as well. As you squeeze the elbows together, you're probably feeling this really great stretch in the upper back. Yeah. Can you draw the shoulders down away from your ears, but lift your elbows off your chest? Yeah, so lift the elbows up. So elbows are maybe even about shoulder height. Couple breaths more here. You might move in toward a forward fold or a forward reach, almost like you're taking the elbows and reaching them forward and up, like we're trying to get them on a little hook out in front of us. And on an inhale, elbows forward and up, bring yourself all the way upright, and then uncross everything. Great little release for the whole body. Kind of like a little squeeze and soak, right? Or soak and squeeze. All right, let's take the other side. Left over right. Squeeze those legs together. Decide if you're going to do the double wrap of the legs or not. Let's keep everything squeezing and grounded. Up tall. Extending and expanding the spine. So with the left leg on top, we take the left arm under. Start out wide so we get the extension, and then left under right, you decide where to go. So here, here, or here. Squeeze the elbows toward one another, and then shoulders draw down as the elbows lift up. Keep squeezing everything in. Either stay here or reach the elbows forward and up, almost like you're trying to bring them up and over to hook on something. Inhale to release all the way up and uncross. Take it out and shake things out a little. Let's kind of undo, release everything that we've done by going back to 3 more rounds of the sun salutation that we started with. So we started mountain pose, up tall, feet to the floor. We inhale, sweep the arms out. Now stay grounded and rooted, right? So we're letting go of expectation. Everything is like you're doing it brand new. Cactus arms and tilt forward. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, fold all the way down. Forward bend, release the head weight if available. Inhale, half lift, either fingertips on the floor or hands on the shins, but come up halfway and look forward. And on exhale, fold back down. Inhale brings you all the way up. Look, press through the feet. And then lower the arms down twice more, just like that. Inhale. Exhale. Stay for the in-breath. And then exhale down. Half lift, inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise. Arms down. Good, once more. Inhale. Exhale, cactus arms tilt. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, and all the way back down. Inhale, half lift. And fold. Inhale brings you all the way up, reach. And as you exhale, bring your arms down and catch the back of your chair. As you catch the back of the chair, roll the shoulders back and drop the chest forward. Nice little stretch to the front of the body. Get one more breath here. Inhale, release from yourself. Nice and tall. And let's take a twist. Let's twist to your right first. So up tall. Remember, chin stays in line with the breastbone as you twist. And then tune back in with your roots. Still pressing down through the feet, through the sit bones, finding extension in the spine. If you like, continue turning the head around to the right. Bring your head back to a neutral position and then untwist the rest of you. Feels so good to wake up the spine. Let's go the other way, shall we? So turning to your left. And to bring yourself back around to the front. Take the hands out to the knees, just 3 rounds of cat and cow. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, round. Twice more. Inhale up tall. And make your way to your seated Shavasana. So sitting tall, hands rest on the thighs or in the lap. Palms can be down or up. Please allow your eyes to soften and close. As the eyes close, your awareness goes in. So as the awareness goes in, notice what you notice. What is there now in this moment in this body? No judgment, no commenting, no shoulds. Just notice what's there. Let's come back to your breath now. Continuing to watch the breath as it moves in and as it moves out. Nice, steady, even breathing. I'd like to share a poem by Dana Fall. It's called Walk Slowly. It only takes a reminder to breathe, a moment to be still. And just like that, something in me settles, softens, makes space for imperfection. The harsh voice of judgment drops to a whisper, and I remember again that life isn't a relay race, that we will all cross the finish line, that waking up to life is what we were born for. As many times as I forget, catch myself charging forward without even knowing where I'm going, that many times I can make the choice to stop, to breathe, and to be, and walk slowly into the mystery. And the hands in undulating mudra, palm against palm in front of the heart. And as you bow into your chest, just as a gesture of gratitude, gratitude to yourself for taking this time for you today. And I thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.